Try this.
Welcome to the Charlotte Chatter Podcast with Kerry Clift and Mitch Bennett. Now here are your hosts, Kerry and Mitch.
Here we are, season 2, episode 24. And Mitch, it feels like it's been forever since you and I've hung out. How long has it been? A couple of weeks?
Feels like a month.
It does. But we've both been busy, and we got some stories to go with about why we've been busy and why we've not been able to record. But we're going to have a whole lot of fun tonight, and I got a bunch of information, and we're going to have a sale highlight with the Wild Eating Acres and Miss Shannon Carpenter from DeSoto. I hope I say that right. DeSoto, Missouri.
Soto.
So we'll get to her here shortly, and we're going to go over several lots that are offered in their sale coming up September 16th. And we'll be going through each one of those very specifically. So, but first off, Mitch, what's going on in the weather in your neck of the woods? And hey, so we got some trends happening right now, don't we?
Yeah, it looks like that report you sent me, it looks like we're starting to maybe climb ahead of you on the hay prices. But
isn't that nuts?
Yeah, that's crazy. From, I don't know. I had a crop insurance adjuster out today, and I was telling him about some of your hay stories and how the way you guys make hay and stuff, and that you guys make way premium hay compared to us, but we're actually climbing ahead of you guys on the prices. But we are just stupid dry again. We did have a nice run in July, which we never historically get rain in Nebraska in July, or at least not that much. And we had 5 inches, but it is severely gone. And everybody's taking out fire insurance on their crops, if that tells you anything.
Huh.
Yeah.
So what, like putting up burn hay or waiting for it to burn or what?
Well, I don't know what they're I don't know which way they're hoping for. But so basically a lot of crops aren't covered under fire. Now, if lightning would have struck and burnt your crops, yes. But as you're driving through the field, or somebody would throw a cigarette out and light your crops on fire, that's not going to be covered.
Yeah.
I talked to my insurance agent, and I got $25,000 coverage. Well, that doesn't cover like very many acres. So
yeah.
I don't know that I'll take it, but my uncle that has a little more risk than me, he bought some. I think it cost him $1.80 an acre to get $1,000 worth of an acre. So it's really pretty cheap, because obviously the chances of it happening are, minimal. But yeah,
right.
So we're extremely dry. We had, right before State Fair or 2 weeks ago, we had 115 heat index. I mean, it was just boiling. Wow. I mean, it was stupid. We never get 115. And we had it for about 4 or 5 days. And then last week during State Fair, we had 110 heat index with like 101 to 103.
That'd be like a sauna, wouldn't it?
You know what? The humidity wasn't that high, so I'm not sure why the heat index is that high. Because we're awfully dry. But yeah, so any of the hay in our area that's for sale, people really don't ask the price; it just sells. But there's not any for sale.
You're like where we were last year. I mean, we hit that high price, and now it's $160 a ton less than last year. Yeah, right. Exporters are finally starting to buy. I actually heard some feeder second cut in Timothy severe rained on for $80.
Oh God.
Big bale. And I'm like, all right, put my name on some of that, because second cut Timothy feeds really good to cows. So,
well, yeah.
But yeah, it's quite different this year on the hay market because of the export deal. But yeah. It's funny how so what you were seeing, we reversed in a sense,
right? Yeah, we did. Yeah, that is super crazy that way. But I never expected that from, probably a year ago or even 6 months ago. You guys were pretty way high on your hay, and we were higher than we had been, probably the 10-year average, but we definitely have shot up since then. But a field I just baled yesterday, which was awfully depressing for 8 hours of work. It's right at about 50 acres, maybe a shade under. In I don't know. Some people call it upland and prairie, but it was in the conservation program. It's a nice warm season grass. Cows love to eat it, but I've been haying it now. We've taken it out, and I've been haying it for 5, 6, 7 years in a row, consistently. It'll make 110 bales, so 2 bales, probably 1,300-pound bales, because I like to make them grass bales dry.
Right.
It'll make 110 of them. Last year I made 50. I'm like, oh God, this is
wow.
miserable. This year I made 38. So
oh geez,
more misery than
yeah.
It I mean, I drove around all day.
Wow.
It made 38 round bales. Granted, I had to double raked it, and but the prairie, there's like a 4-acre prairie that's never ever been touched, never been broken. Attached to that field. It normally makes 6 to 9 bales. I got 1 bale.
Wow.
One 1,300-pound round bale.
Wow.
So
that doesn't even pay the fuel.
No, we're gonna save her. That's gonna be a celebration bale for something. I don't know. And I ain't smoking it either. It's gonna be fun.
No kidding. Yeah, fire. Well, I know you and I've been busy the last couple of weeks with why we've missed some recordings, but we're full bore here from now on. So I do have to share. So we've talked about prior episodes, on my volunteer community service. I'm on the Ellensburg Rodeo Board, and this year was our 100th anniversary of the Ellensburg Rodeo, and we are a top 10 rodeo in the U.S. So it was a great celebration. We sold out every night. Starting from Thursday, we had Sawyer Brown, sold that out. To Friday night's performance, Saturday night Extreme Bulls, Sunday and Monday. It was insane. Got to ride in the parade on Saturday morning and saw more people than I've ever seen in our community. So the community turnout was great. But I do have to say, through all the fun and parties and what have you that we had, there was one story that sticks out to me. So Friday night is our first rodeo performance, and we have Patriot Night, which I am actually in charge of, along with concert. Patriot Night, we were honoring the Gulf War vets. So this was last Friday. Last Wednesday, I received a message from Brookside Memorial Service, and they asked if I could help them out with something. It's a funeral home that they were going to Seattle Friday morning to get a gentleman that passed away in World War II and was never identified until recently. So 80 years have gone by, finally got identified, flew into Seattle Friday morning. They went over and picked him up in a police escort and brought him to Ellensburg. And they asked if I could fit him into the Patriot Night program, which, at that time, you're full on, this is 2 days before the performance. You're full on planned. It's kind of hard to add something in there because it takes a lot of time, but this was too big of a story to not do it. So called Justin McKee, our announcer, face of the Cowboy Channel, and said, hey, read this story. And he read it. He goes, we need to figure out how to do this. So Captain Donald Fromke, he was a Purple Heart recipient, died in 1944, the German theater of World War II. And they finally identified his remains. We brought him to the arena. We announced it in the arena that night, and people were able to pay respect to him as they exited the arena. So, and his family, they found his family, which was in our community. And so
that's amazing.
Something that it was ironic that he flew in on Friday morning of the Patriot Night, or of our Patriot Night. And I'm like, right. Man, things are lining up, and so
kind of gives you chills a little bit.
If anybody wants to see pictures, I just posted them tonight, or this will probably be released in a day or two. But go on my personal Facebook, Kerry Clift, and look at the pictures in the story behind this, because there's a lot of stories, fun stories of rodeo, but this is the reason we can rodeo is because people like this sacrifice their life, and finally, after 8 years, he was able to be identified, and I brought him to his home in the Kittitas Valley here. And so let me tell you what, that doesn't bring a tear to your eye when you're watching the video. If you go onto my Facebook. There's no hope for you. But so we had a great weekend. Celebrated dearly. Started fall calving with those 2 sets of twins. Right when amongst of trying to get Sawyer Brown sound checked, and my wife said, "We got twins," and I'm like, I can't leave because I got Mark Miller and Sawyer Brown and yada yada yada. So she handled it, and we got it going. But I know you were busy at the Nebraska State Fair in the last couple of weeks. So what were the fun activities there besides the heat index?
Yeah, no kidding. It was we had some miserable days again. Holy crap, it just does not seem to let up. But it was Devin's last year FFA, and we really honestly didn't realize that because by age wise, he still has another year, but they have a rule that if you're out of high school for 3 years, or you can only show 3 years out of high school. So where he kind of was a young senior, it makes him ineligible, which is neither here nor there. But we kind of didn't know that until after we pulled. This year they made a big deal where you have to, every calf has to be DNA'd, no matter if it's a feeder calf, a breeding heifer. Yeah, so everything had to get the hair pulled on it that we wanted to enter. So we didn't realize that. So we left his 2 bred heifers off the list because we're like, we just kind of like to start on some new babies and them bred heifers. It's kind of a bad time, I think, especially with the weather we've been having this summer. So we left them at home, neither here nor there. But we, Devin in his fashion complained the whole week that, I don't know if these calves are going to look good enough. They're going to, he just, and I'm like,
that sounds familiar. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, they look good at home. I was like, we know how to feed. Like, we're going to be all right. Even if the weather's shitty. And even if the weather gets hot, that's more of an advantage to us because we know what to do. A lot of these people are like, what are you putting on their feed? And I'm like, I ain't telling you. No, I would. I do.
It's
an
ancient Chinese secret, isn't it?
Yeah, they're like, "What's the powder?" I'm like, "It's electrolytes, 110 out. Freaking A! You're drinking Gatorade.
It's powder from Mexico. It just made it to California. Step back."
Yeah, you don't do drug tests at work, do you?
Yeah,
but
it's all good.
So so he so not knowing that it was his last year, but it wouldn't have mattered. We wouldn't have changed anything. We're not one of those people that go out like some people get crazy and spend oodles of money. And I mean, everything we took was raised by us. But we ended up taking, I don't know why we took 6 head of cattle because that is just a lot. I don't care if you've got enough people. Like in the evenings, he'd always round up, our neighbor kids and whatever, and we go tie them out, But it's just 6 head's just a lot, especially with a big ass bull. But so he ended up having 5 class winners out of the 6.
Wow.
And 1 second in class, and the one that was second in class was second to himself. So that wasn't so bad.
You did a good job of paying off the judge. Good job, Mitch. I'm proud of you.
Yeah. No,
So let's who is the judge and how would you rate him?
It was Parker Henley. He did good. I was surprised. I've heard him judge before, and he was more brief on the mic, but I don't mind that. But sometimes for people watching, some people that are trying to learn want to hear just a little more, and he always explained himself. So I mean, I thought he was. I would say time-wise, what he took for class, he never stewed over any of the classes. I mean, he judged all weekend. I mean, he judged market steers, heifers, feeder calves, bulls. I mean, he judged a lot of animals there at the FFA show because our FFA shows is getting pretty large at the Nebraska State Fair. So I would say overall, probably a 4 to 4.5. I'd say 4.5.
Damn, that's good. That's your high mark.
Yeah. The breeding heifers did an excellent job. The market steers, I couldn't argue with them too much. I mean, our market steer show was ridiculous. So
how did your chicken do?
Or you know what? It didn't pass the vet check.
No.
God damn it.
Now that's funny. I don't care who you are.
They are stingy as shit at the vet check.
What
Oh
was
my
it?
God. I think they got they got mirrors there looking underneath your trailer, see if you're smuggling one in.
God. I shouldn't say this, but was his pecker too short or what happened? So Lord, I apologize. Anyway, the feathers were ruffled. I think we better go on to the next topic. But how about them Yankees? So how about we get on with this, the sale highlight? And it is the Wild Indian Acres All-Star Female Sale, 1 p.m., September 16th. 2023 at the ranch. You guys are killing me. So anyway, I have lost complete mind thought. So Mike and Sarah Kisner are the owners, and with us we have Shannon Carpenter to go over all these exciting females and bull calves that are being offered. It's a live sale also, right? And low live bidding on DV auction. Yes. So is it a live auctioneer also?
Live auctioneer and live on DV auction. We don't have any live animals all on TV screen. Okay.
So go on DV auction or go on. We'll post this on our Charlotte chatter all of this stuff. But so first off, Wild Indian Acres. The name is intriguing to me. I'd love to know the background of that. Shannon, do you have any Indian blood in you? I mean, do you know where that name came from?
Well, I personally, yes, do have Indian blood in me, but I do not know the answer to whether Mike has any Indian.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But I will ask him and get back with you on that.
Okay. That is, there's a story behind everything, right? So
sure. I will find
it. And let's talk about prior to the sale. So it sounds like you guys have a fun activity where you go to a ball game. If anybody comes in, right?
Anybody that would like to go can contact Mike and receive free tickets to Mike's personal booth or box or whatever suite, I guess you call it, at the Cards Stadium. And up at a hotel locally here, and we take 2 party buses with free drinks and music, and 1 rowdy bus and 1 slightly less rowdy bus. And then we all go to the game. We have food and drinks and watch the game and have a good time. And then we all come back and go to the sale the next day.
That sounds like so much fun. And I think I shared this with you, but some people might not known this, but my grandpa played 13 or 14 years of pro baseball in St. Louis. So have a lot of, my dad was born in St. Louis, so have a lot of ties in the area. So that'd be kind of fun to go back to. I've been to Cardinal Stadium, haven't been to a ball game there, but
sounds like you should go.
It sounds like I should go. When is that? September?
That is
16th.
Next Saturday. That's doable.
I will be in Pendleton, Oregon. Dang it. Sorry. But
my thought, fly out of there.
I can. What? Yep, we can do that. So let's get on to the highlight, lot 1. So it's M6 Miss New Jewel 0155. And of course, I'm a M6 fan, and we've had real good luck with 2 different herd sires with the Force and Fresh Whistle. So I know the M6 blood pretty well. And I mean, this cow's done her job to she a 2010 model. So there's numerous offspring in production out of her. So let's talk about why in the hell are you selling her? But anyway, you're offering full interest and full possession, which is huge. So what's your story behind this?
And I actually saw this cow at Transova about 60 days ago. And for her age, she still looks really good. And she is still cranking out. I think they told me about 7 good embryos per IVF.
Wow.
And Mike is a consummate businessman. So I don't know how he predicts these trends, but some predict the cows that he needs to buy. And this was one cow that he knew he needed to buy. And it's just kind of worked out for us.
Yeah. Well, you look at her pedigree. So, going back to LT Rio Bravo, which we've talked about several times in our, in our prior episodes. And then there's a DeBrucker bull back in there. And then there's the all impressive DO140, who's the sire of the 0641 cow that's produced so many good champs. So there's a lot of good blood, and you can't miss, grade maker in her blood too. So there's,
Right.
you get in that third generation. Wow. There's some powerhouses. So even today, there's a good set of numbers, the negative 0.9, 77 and 138 and a 278 TSI. So I think she's kind of got the full meal deal and got the look. And I know she produces show calves too. So
She really does, because when we sold the full 5117 last year to Ankeny, I guess it was actually 2 sales ago, we sold the Jewel 121 to Kendall Bremer. And then that was the heifer that eventually won the Iowa State Fair Supreme and went on to win Denver this year. And I believe that heifer was undefeated in division. So, I mean, that's pretty impressive coming from that pedigree.
wow, that's impressive. For all those of you who are listening, if you hear little reindeer sounds in the background, Shannon is getting ready for Christmas. She's, so
Feeding
she
a
has
reindeer.
Yeah, she's feeding. I can see Donner blitzing in the background. They're practicing right now. So
They're not thinking. So there's
I actually kind of like the background noise.
no, it's a good
kinda neat.
background, but
Yeah, it's like Twilight Zone.
Just in case
Crickets.
anybody's curious, it's like
Soto, so I apologize. It is the Twilight Zone.
yep. So that is
Uh,
lot 1, M6 New Jewel. I can tell you, that's a powerhouse female that's done a lot of good in the industry in multiple situations, from production cattle and show cattle. So if you want an all-round type of female, guys, look at this and there's not many M6 cattle left to purchase like this. I mean, with them dispersing, was it 3 years ago? And so here's your chance to own a legend. So
and donors that look like that. I mean, that thing's a meat wagon. I mean, look at
look at the hip.
some of these guys. I mean, everybody's got their own taste, but if I see a donor, they got to have some freaking ass to them.
Yep.
This one's got some ass. It looks like
Yep.
so.
So that's lot 1. Let's go on to lot 2. So there's a choice of Jewel's ET heifers, and two of them are out of Monticello, but there's one, lot 2C, who's out of Jehu. So if you look at her numbers, so Jehu on Sun Jewel 5117, and her numbers are 29, birth weight 94, weaning weight, yearling weight 180, and a 317 TSI. Yes, you heard that right. For all those of you chasing the numbers, look at this one, 317, and she's got to be one of the biggest numbered one in the Charlotte herd right now, I would assume. But here is a granddaughter of the 155 lot 1 cow on Jehu. Yeah, last lot 2C, but don't miss lot 2A and 2B, or Monticello out of the Sun Jewel 5117. So, Shannon, what can you tell us about these January born heifers?
I am not sure whether we are going to sell one choice or two choices. So I would caution people that if you're serious about chasing TSI, that you might want to be the first one to bid.
Yep.
Because there's a high probability that we're going to keep the other two.
It's a very good, fair assumption. Yep.
These do not look like, in my opinion, high EPD TSI cattle. They've got some look to them. They've got some bone to them. They've got some internal dimension and some width. The Jehu is maybe a little more moderate frame than the Monticellos, but probably bigger hipped and a little stouter made. For number cattle, and if anybody that knows me know that number cattle are really not my forte.
Yeah.
They're pretty nice. They're pretty
good. Good.
I think you're starting to see that on some numbered cattle, are getting a little better looking. It used to be, I can remember looking through a catalog one time, and the bull, I don't want to give too much information away, but his name was kind of after one of his EPDs a little bit. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I could see, but now, things are starting to shift a little bit. And I think it's only because our breed is just getting better and probably a little more technology into our breed as far as the 100K DNA and, people doing more with getting a little better with taking down production records and stuff like that. So, and entering that. So I think number cattle are going to start to look better.
Yep.
But they did not in the past. And that's why some people hated them, because they're horrible. And
right.
some are still horrible. But yeah, well, I can see where they are getting better looking.
Yeah. If you talk
that will, they're going to get better, I think.
Yeah, they have to. Yeah. Yep. And talk about looking at a better one, the lot 3 heifer we're going to talk about. CCR WIA Miss Shandy. Looking at the picture, look at the front, look at the hip, and 312.56 TSI. So there's a number with the what would be a fall born last year, 99222 Benaya daughter, and out of a Blue Valley bred female. So what's the story behind this girl?
2109 is actually the half maternal sib to Monticello on the cow side out of Benaya. And she actually is much better looking than her picture.
Oh.
She is a really, really, really nice female. And anybody that's interested in a really good set of numbers with over 300 TSI, this is probably the one they need to leave with.
Yeah. Well, she does. I mean, she looks good in that picture to me. So did you take that picture yourself?
I believe, standing over Hobbs' shoulder with that picture.
Okay. So you can tell Hobbs that he didn't do a good enough job.
Yeah, look at the calving ease and birth weight too. So with that high of a TSI, and then you got some negative birth weight and a pile of calving ease on there. So that's a good spread to have.
Yep. Very good heifer. That's lot number 3, presented with Cannon Charolais and Wild Indian Acres. So she looks like she's a partner heifer. So lot number 10, Red Factor, and it's a Red Factor donor. So choice of Red Factor donors, 1/2 interest. So what's kind of how are they going to sell that, or what's the scoop on that lot 10?
When Mike decided that he wanted to jump into the red parlay game, he kind of made some inquiries of where he could find some really, really good ones at, and that took him up to the Efforts Ranch in North Dakota. And he decided that he couldn't pick one or two that he liked, so he decided he was going to buy them all.
well, that works.
Well, if you can do it, might as well. Why not?
Wild Acres now owns the majority. I'm going to say I think he bought 30 or 35 of the top Red Factor females of Efforts's, and he's going to offer 1/2 interest in your choice of one of those females.
Wow.
And they're having February and March of 24. And I believe he's asking that you need to make your selection by May. And I believe that we will have most of those back here at the ranch before they calve.
Perfect.
You would not have to travel to North Dakota. You would just have to come to DeSoto.
Yeah. Perfect. So our Canadian audience that's listening, is there something specific on that lot?
If anybody in Canada would like half interest in one of those red donors, we will make every effort to make sure that cow produces exportable embryos.
Oh, there you go.
So
for all your Canadians listening, look at lot number 10, and there's some really good pictures on there. So we'll put a link on our Charolais Chatter Facebook and Instagram for people to look at, and Wild Indian Acres pages. So on DV Auction. So very good lot. Check her out on sale day. That is lot 10. So now on to lot 38 is WIA Miss Nancy was a fall calving bred heifer. So she's a Mr. General Ridge daughter. She's actually got kind of a outcross pedigree in a sense here to mainstream, I guess, and out of a Miss Nancy, Orr's Miss Nancy. So she's born 8/31/2021. And what's the story behind her? So what is she bred to?
She actually has just given us a bull calf by the W.R. Foreman bull. So she
Oh.
will, it's a baby bull calf.
She's got a bull on side. Yep.
So this was one that when people call me and ask me for something with a different pedigree, no redemption, no resource, no outsider, no firewater, people are kind of like, what do I give? What do I point them towards? Nancy 194 was kind of my pick because she does have an outcross pedigree. She still has a really good set of numbers. She's moderate framed. And for me, coming from more of a club calf standpoint, she's big hipped, she's big foot, big bone, she's just stout made. And when she comes at you or walks away from you, she's just massive.
Yeah.
Massively designed, but she's still really good fronted, has a really nice udder for a first calf heifer. She's just kind of one of those outlier deals that she's just kind of interesting to me. So I thought maybe people might want to look her up.
That might get a good sale highlight right there. So something with a little different pedigree and the calf being out of Foreman, a bull calf. So you could turn around and make some pretty good money on that bull calf when you sell it next year. So
yeah, and her 3/4 brother was our top selling bull spring bull sale this year. I think he was like 16,000.
Wow. Look at her bottom side of her pedigree. She goes back to the old bull Baldridge Kojak. Wow. I mean, that's going back some years, and that's a good female producing bull. So that's you got good lineage in there.
2-for-1 package.
There's a 2-for-1 package. It's on the ground. You don't even have to do the work. Yep.
Nope.
So look her up on sale day. That is lot 38. WIA Miss Nancy 194. So on to lot 49 is Orr's Miss Nancy 793. And she's got a bull calf on the side of her. So she's a Fargo daughter. It goes back to M6 New Standard and Grid Maker on the bottom side. So got some good M6 blood. And she's got a big old bull calf on the sides. Sired by Foreman. What's the scoop behind this pair?
Well, I always tell people that I'm not supposed to have a favorite when somebody asks me about the sale cattle, but 49 and 49A would definitely be my favorite lot in the sale. I think pedigree wise, phenotype, EPDs. I think when you watch the video and the very last 4 or 5 seconds of that video, her and her bull calf just kind of line up. This is not just a bull calf. This is a purebred herd sire prospect. And I pulled up his EPDs today on the website, and he has a 271.8 TSI, along with, I should have written it down, but he's also out of Foreman, so you're going to have some calving needs to go along with that. And this cow is safe in calf to our new triple threat bull, and he is in the top 2% of the breed for weaning weight, yearling weight, scrotal, carcass weight, marbling, and TSI.
Wow.
So her calf next year should really be loaded up.
Yeah. And if you look at her picture, she's got absolute beautiful udder. So she's 6 years old. She's right in her prime. So you could really crank on her and do some fun stuff, raise that calf up and then flush her, and there's a whole bunch of opportunities you could do with that cow.
A lot of ways to go with this cow. She's got a good disposition. She's easy to work with. A lot of those Fargos get a little high-headed. She's not really one of those. She's just a pretty good package, total package.
We call them athletic. We don't say high-headed.
Athletic, yeah.
High-headed, like they might think about it. Athletic means they're probably going to.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got a different gear then.
Yeah. Like Mitch, your rooster was athletic when he changed you around. He was definitely athletic.
Oh, yeah, he was.
When you jumped on the top of your head, started going at it, he was very athletic. So.
No, he never got on. No, he didn't get that close. Nada.
All right, so that is lot 49 and 49A. So our next lot is 51A. Is a polled bull calf started by LT Atlas and out of a Eaton's cow. That was a choice of a herd. So let's Shannon, why don't you tell us how this all came about, and let's talk about that bull calf that's going to be sold.
51A is a bull calf that we probably should have kept back to take to Breeders' Classic in Kansas City this year. But since Mike acquired the Orr herd last year, it's just been, there's just not enough time to try to make a repeat of that. And we decided to sell him with his mother in the sale. And this is our best LT Atlas bull calf to date. I ran him across the scale the other day, and he had a actual 910 pound.
Ooh. Wow.
910 pounds through all this heat and humidity. Looks great. He's gentle. He's got a big scrotal, big foot, and he is also another purebred herd sire prospect.
Wow.
And show prospect.
Yeah, and he's a February 8th born calf weighing 900 and some.
Yep.
I can't help myself here, and hopefully he's listening. Cody, where are you at? Let's get some numbers. Let's see where you're at. But that is awesome. Good weaning weight. And well, you should have took a picture of him. Why didn't you take a picture of him? Why is he not in the catalog?
He is in the catalog.
He is?
He's right to the left. I mean,
yes.
to the left.
Yes.
On
Sorry,
your
I'm
other
blind.
left. Your other left.
Left.
Your other left.
What's the left? Okay, the other right. I see it now. I need.
And he's
a
low
lot-
birth weight too, huh? 73
Yeah, look
pounds.
at that.
Wow.
Negative. Was he negative? Well, his mom's a -1, so he's probably in there somewhere, huh? You have his numbers in front of you, Shannon?
I do not.
He's probably -5, if I'm guessing.
I would say he's at least a 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Atlas is negative.
Wow, look at the hip. Look at the hip on him. Yeah.
And
Good job on taking a picture.
well, in our round of pictures, you can't tell really in that picture, but it was pouring rain. So
Yeah.
soaking wet. Nobody was happy that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there ever a good picture day? I mean, I just want to know.
No.
We
I
had
mean-
we had a fantastic picture day. Our first round of pictures.
You know what? Our very best picture day was last year. Our first sale. It got up to 102. I don't know where this damn heat. Just one day, 102. Devin and I did 6 calves in 53 minutes ourselves. Just me and him. Boom,
Yep.
boom, boom. We tied them on our we just purchased a new trailer, had a little AC in there, so we plugged the AC in. We had them running right beside the pen, and we let them off one at a time. And we knew we had like 2 minutes before their tongues were hanging out because it was just the humidity was. I don't even know what the heat index was, but yeah. So we did that many, and and for some people that's nothing. But when we take pictures, there's only like 1 or 2 of us, so
Right.
we were kind of proud of that. And the pictures were awesome. In the
Yeah.
videos, like some of them, it was 2 minutes, and they were out. I don't
Wow.
know. It
You
we
know,
definitely had a goal in mind, that's for sure.
the best picture is when somebody else does it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, yeah. Unfortunately, I take the pictures, edit them, and all of the above.
That explains it. That explains it
Yeah.
all. No,
It
yeah,
sucks.
Don't need to talk. So anyway, that is lot 51A. Look at that bull calf up on sale day. So we're on to our last lot we're going to talk about is lot 66. WIA Miss Jewel 236.
Oh yeah.
She's a direct 2022 daughter of GHC Regan, and out of M6 Ledger Jewel, a Ledger daughter by Cool Jewel, who goes back to the Miss New Jewel of 155. So that's a lot of jewels. But anyway, check her
A lot of
out.
family jewels.
What's the scoop on the family of jewels? So What is her story? She's a spring calving bred heifer.
She is a bred heifer, and her mother is actually lot 52 in the sale. So we
Oh,
decided to
okay.
package some cow families together, and we have a bunch of really nice Reagan heifers. So we decided to just kind of pick our top 2 or 3, and she just happened to be one of those. And she is safe in calf to our new MSF Kinnick bull, who also has some pretty spectacular EPDs. Trying to see if they have these written down here, because I also forgot to write those down. But I believe in the top 5% or 4% in almost every category across the board.
So what's the story on that Kinnick bull?
Well, he's walking the pasture here at Wild Indian. He is a countdown son from what is it, Minders in Minnesota.
Okay.
But yeah, we bred 25 heifers to him this spring, so we'll see if we're either geniuses or
So see what happens, huh?
You're gonna see something.
Well,
right.
so I bred some heifers this year to Regan, so I'm anxiously anticipating some nice calves next February. So we'll see how that.
I believe that I have ever had to assist a Reagan, and
Yeah.
I bet we've had 50 of them so far.
Right on.
They pop.
That's awesome. Well, I like the look of the bull, and of course he goes back to the Brenda cow family, so I don't think you can lose on that. So it's a pretty powerful cow family.
Yep, we've retained everyone we've got. So.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yep.
So here's your opportunity to buy a Regan heifer. Lot 66 is Miss Jewel 236. So that's combining some good M6 and LT blood.
Yep.
I mean, that's I don't think you get much better in those 2 programs. So that kind of concludes our sale highlights. So just remember the All-Star female sale, 1 p.m. and that'd be Missouri time, right? Missouri time.
Central.
September 16th at the ranch or on DV auction. So you can go on there, bid. We'll put some links up on all of our social media stuff. And we want to thank Shannon for being on with us. And is there anything I'm forgetting, Shannon, about you can go to a ball game, go to a St. Louis ball game? Who are they playing? Do you know who the Cards are playing that day?
Gosh, I don't. But could I just take 1 second to just give a shout out to our consigners?
Oh, heck
Absolutely.
yeah, for sure. Yep.
We have some really great consigners. They bring us some really great cattle every year.
Mm-hmm.
That would be this year A.L. Davis, Cannon Charlet, Gillig Genetics, Grand Hill Charlet, Greer Charlet, Hale Farms, Ricketts Charlet, Sellhorse Charlet, Lendl Thompson, and White Rose Charlet.
Wow.
Guys, very much for what they're going to bring us.
I guess I didn't realize all that. I've actually bought some females from Ricketts in years past through another sale. But so how do we get invited? I guess I must have missed the invite.
You have to come to the baseball game to find out.
Yeah. It's a cult, Carrie. You just don't join right away.
Really? Damn. So there is a restaurant right in St. Louis, and I'll go find my notes that I walked into the restaurant. It was a steakhouse. I can't think of it. Went into the restroom, and on the wall there was a picture of my grandfather playing baseball, or when he was playing baseball. So in spirit, I am there already, right? So that should mean something.
We can go with that.
Yeah. Plus, he's on the Hall of Fame, so
I know 3 or 4 of those consigners personally, and those people get after it.
Yeah.
I mean, they're turning some genetics, and kind of they're not stuck in their way. We'll say they're progressive breeders, is what I would say.
Yep.
And so that's kind of neat. Sometimes, like with our sales that we have, we like to have a variety. And I could see with pulling in those breeders that you could kind of give a little variety to, something for everyone. And that's hard to do in a purebred sale.
Yeah.
Right.
So
For everybody. And some years we maybe don't have enough because to maintain 70 every year is a little bit of a drain on a cow herd.
Right.
So can ask the consigners, hey, can we round up 15 from you guys? That's a huge help.
Yeah.
Yep.
No,
And
it is.
really nice cattle.
Yeah. So I guess in all this, my takeaway is note to self: I must have missed the invite. But anyway, on to the next story.
Hey, you still got time for next year.
I
All you
got
gotta do is get a
time.
plane ticket.
Oh yeah. I'll just
Or
ship them
two.
to you. Yeah. Well, thank you for being on with us. And if there's any questions, Shannon, what's your phone number or how they get a hold of you? Or if there's questions on the cattle, who are your sale day contacts? I guess.
Contact Mike, and everything is listed like in the front of the sale catalog.
Perfect.
Mike or myself or Greg Hubert or David Hobbs.
Perfect.
They can look us up on Facebook, or I'm also on Snapchat.
Yep.
So
Well,
all the fun stuff.
that is good. So you are the first female highlight sale we have done on the Charlotte Chatter. So we've done some, odds and ends stuff and a lot of bull sale stuff. So you're the first female sale that we've done. And we got a
I
pile
thought you
coming
were
up.
saying the first female we had on here.
Female
like-
sale. I said.
First female for the highlights of the female sale. Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Yep. Mitch, I lost
Cricket.
it on minute 21 in there. So my brain's still gone. So
Crickets. I hear crickets.
So with all that, don't forget their sale on September 16th, and everybody be safe out there. We'll see you on the next trip. Have a good one.
Thanks, everybody.
Sometimes good boys act like bad boys. Don't take offense, deep down we're all little boys. It's just part of our DNA. A 7-day road trip, hanging out with friends, nothing but fun, adventures, and drinking. Come on, y'all, make a little noise. The boys will be boys.
Dude, I could